This is Amy Chan from CakeDecoratingSchool.com, and if you like cake decorating, you're in the right place. If you're interested in these products, check the links in the description.
Dessert sprinkles. In this video, we're talking about some of the different kinds of dessert sprinkles and toppings you might want for your cakes, cupcakes, or other sweet creations. So we'll start over here with the Jimmies. This is one kind of sprinkle. It has a long kind of pill-like shape, and it's available in a lot of different colors. So whether you get a solid color or a nice fun mix like this just kind of traditional generic multicolor that's great for not only toppings, but also if you're going to do things like make funfetti, you want to use the little Jimmies. And it also comes in metallics. So we've got these great kind of silver pewter color ones that I absolutely love over here. So they're a great topping for both cakes, cupcakes, tops of cake pops, also, of course, traditionally on your ice cream, or for making fun custom funfetti blends. We also have things like Sixlets. These are large kind of candy pearls. They have a nice little kind of chocolate malt inside. So they're actually chewable and crunchy and actually pretty delicious. And they make a great topping for the tops of cakes. You can put them on top of little rosettes to do pearls. You can use them to make your own pearl borders. And we have a nice kind of baby blue shimmer going on here, but they come in a variety of different shades. So you can get them in things like just a white pearl, gold, silver, a variety of colors of the rainbow, both pastel and bright. So they're a fantastic thing to have on hand. And they also actually make great filler for dessert buffets and candy tables because they're easily purchased in a multitude of different colors and they're cost effective. So they make a great filler item. A lot of times I actually use these as candy filler for jars when I'm going to do things like display cake pops. So they're a really great thing to have on hand if you're running a small cake studio. Next, we're going to move over to our regular sprinkles or Nonpareils. These are the tiny little ball-shaped ones. They come in a variety of colors, so both just plain solid colors and also metallics like you can get the Jimmies in. And then there's also a great variety of color mixes, which means that you can get things for your holidays. So if you're running anything like a small bakery, cake studio, or you're just doing a lot of projects at home, these are easy and cost-effective ways to stock up on decorative details that allow you to make a lot of fun variety for your holiday and festive occasion treats. Move over to our sugars over here. Sugars make a great topping for cupcakes, desserts, cakes as well. And other than just, say, regular table sugar, you have things like these specialty sugars. So these are all kind of like sparkling sugars. You have a fine grain called your sanding sugar, and then a coarse one that's just literally called coarse sparkling sugar. So you can see the finer sanding sugar will give you a nice subtle shimmer and sparkle, right? It looks like little jewels. And this coarse one is much more faceted. It's a much larger grain. So it's going to give you more of a high impact sparkle and a little more depth. They come in a wide variety of colors as well. So you can get both pastels and brights. I love stocking up on the just plain white or clear, both in coarse and sanding, and having a lot of that on hand. But they also come in fun metallics as well. You can see we've got some gold back here. So it's a great way to add a nice metallic shimmer that has a lot of sparkle to it. This clear one, though, I can use things like my petal dust and luster dust to even make my own custom colors by just dumping a little bit of that in a container with some of my coarse sugar, giving it a nice little shake to coat it. It can give you a nice range of options to create some custom shades and blends as well. Up here, we have some quinns. Quinns are a fantastic thing to stock for holidays. So especially if you're doing your own little home-based cake studio, you can get lots of nice everyday designs like the confetti ones. You can use the white confetti ones to do things like confetti coatings on cakes and paint them lots of fun metallics, but they also have a lot of holiday mixes. So these are a great thing to keep in stock because they have a super long shelf life, right? They're just really pressed sugar and a little color. So as long as they're in an airtight container, they're out of the light, they'll stay good for a very long time, meaning they're a really useful tool for decorators. So you can buy little mixes for all your holidays. They're great to sprinkle on tops of cupcakes, along with maybe a little bit of a sprinkle or Jimmy mix, and you can make a lot of fun customized holiday treats with those. There are also some great blends available, right, online, where you get things like sprinkles, Jimmies, sugar, and then you also get some pearls and dragees in there. And that's one word of caution. Some of these sprinkle mix have things in them, like the pearls or the dragees, that technically are not edible. They're really hard. So you want to make sure you're using those on more decorative elements and not things that people are necessarily going to be eating. And then that takes me to my last two things, the pearls and the dragees. These technically, because they're made of sugar, are edible, they're non-toxic, but because they're so hard, and some of the old school dragees have things in them that you actually shouldn't eat, they're really only used for decorative purposes on cakes, or for items like, say, gingerbread houses that aren't ever going to be eaten. That's what we usually use our dragees for. So you want to make sure they're only on decorative borders, decorative details that are going to be removed from your cakes, cupcakes, and treats before they're actually consumed. So that's just an important note. These are great, useful tools for decorators. Always use them on stuff that's not going to be eaten though. And always check your little sprinkle mixes to make sure there's nothing in there that isn't edible before you put them on things like cupcakes, where someone might consume the whole thing. So this is a nice little buying guide to some of the different decorative details and sprinkles and sugars that you might want to get for yourself to have on hand, whether you're just a home decorator or you have your own studio.
If you enjoyed this video and you'd like more about the cake decorating materials and equipment we use, or just some inspirational videos about cake decorating itself, you can follow us on Insta or YouTube at Cake Decorating School. If you'd like to know more about yearly membership and what it entails, you can go to www.cakedecoratingschool.com for more information. And if you're interested in these products, you can check the links in the description.